Hey, what's up guys? So I wanted to do this little review on not just my favorite Mega Man game ever, but one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Mega Man X. I'm reviewing this because I just got Mega Man 11, and I'm still trying to beat the game, so I can give my full thoughts on the game in the future. So this pretty much led me to wanting to review the classic Mega Man games. So I thought, why not review Mega Man X? Now yes, I am a huge Mega Man fan. He is on my top 3 favorite gaming characters of all time. The games were just so tremendously entertaining, and Mega Man can do the optimistic attitude that made him an instant classic among gamers of all ages. So, being born in the early 90s, I didn't grow up with the golden age of consoles. My older brother had already owned a Super Nintendo by the time I was born. And yes, I was born in 1992. So I pretty much grew up with the Nintendo 64, which I got on my birthday in 1998. Thankfully, we lived in a time where virtual consoles, re-releases, and emulations were wildly accessible, giving people like myself the ability to replay classic games I've never had the chance to play. So with that in mind, let's kick things off with quite possibly one of the best SNES games of all time, and that is Mega Man X. Now, this game came out around a time where everything in the 90s was becoming a lot more darker and edgier. And you can definitely tell this game took a different direction with the Mega Man franchise. And it seems as though Capcom were trying to go for a more darker Mega Man game. I can't say if this was Capcom trying to go along with the trends of the 90s, but you can tell the whole idea behind this was to give Mega Man a complete redesign. Now, Mega Man X was the first iteration of the Blue Bomber in the 16-bit era. Taking place 100 years after the original Mega Man, the game follows the adventures of X, an advanced robot created by Dr. Light, awakening from a century-long slumber. Both gamers and critics alike were after something fresh after the original Mega Man series. It was becoming stale, predictable, and fast. The freedom given with developing on a completely new console meant that developers at Capcom could give the people what they wanted, eventually. Launching just over 2 years after the release of the Super Nintendo, Mega Man X is the same tasty platforming run-and-gun galash we all come to love. You can now jump up and hang on to walls and find upgrades ranging from the dash ability to a more powerful buster. These additions made navigating the 12 stages significantly more fun. The game allows players to have a sense of freedom in regards to which boss they can take on first. After you manage to defeat a boss, you get a special weapon that is super effective against another boss. This makes the super challenging bosses like Sting Chameleon a breeze. In saying that, figuring out the order in which battle of these bosses is rather painful. And I found myself dying quite a bit more often because I didn't have the right weapon for the boss. However, the game offers players the ability to upgrade your health meter and sub-tanks, which allows you to refill your health at a moment's notice. They are pretty well hidden, so exploration and replaying levels is the key to making sure you don't fail a level. While the game is slightly easier than the original NES series, each level is littered with obstacles and enemies, and health pickups don't drop often as you like, so it's best to come prepared with a sub-tank or two. The transition from 8 to 16-bit did wonders for the series. The visuals still hold up by today's HD over Bloom standards. It still keeps the charm of the original series, with considerably better visuals and a slick soundtrack, making this game stand out as a pinnacle of the SNES era and is regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. Once you start knocking over bosses, the game does move towards the end relatively quickly, but with the final stage being split into 4 painfully difficult stages, it's enough to be an enjoyable experience with high replay value. If Mega Man is the boyish cartoon series, X is the angsty teenage years. The tone is a lot more darker, but not grim and gritty. Each individual world is bright and colorful in a way that the NES could never express, and looks absolutely fantastic. What I appreciate the most are the little details, such as the special animations when a boss is hit by their weakness. The game is gifted with an awesome rock soundtrack that is edgier than past games, and it fits the tone well. Mega Man X took its time, but was definitely worth the wait. Everything you loved about the original games is given a 16-bit makeover. creating one of the best games from that era. And I'm gonna give Mega Man X a 10 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.